We all need to find that happy place. And inside my helmet is my happy place. And that's why I ride. Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you stumbled across this video for some miracle, YouTube has blessed you and given you an opportunity to watch one of my videos. My name is Scott, and I'm just playing with you. But no, I appreciate you being here. And so if YouTube did recommend my video by some rare chance, that's amazing, considering all the videos that are on YouTube right now, right? So yeah, subscribe. You might like this channel. Like again, I'm Scott, and I ride a motorbike, but I talk about a lot of different things. I share my wisdom. I share some safety stuff. I ride different motorbikes. I review gear. I kind of do all kind of little stuff. And I have a perspective that's a little different than most people because I've been on this planet for a long time. A lot of people say, "Hey, you have a lot of wisdom," and people appreciate that. So maybe you'll learn something. You never know. I'm not one of these guys that just do wheelies down a highway and do stunts. Can't do that on my bike. For one, it's only 150cc, right? But I'm not into that. I'm past the age of that, although I would like a sport bike. I'm not really in a position where I want to do wheelies on a highway. So if you like those kind of channels, go for it. And I do too. I watch them sometimes, but they kind of become mundane over time. With my channel, you get a little bit of perspective on a lot of different things. I try to make my videos engaging where people do like to watch the videos. When you learn something, that's a bonus. So as the thumbnail stated, my helmet is my happy place. And it's true. I bought a motorbike for different reasons, but one of the big reasons that I bought my bike is I wanted to relieve stress. There's a lot of people that have a fear of motorbikes or someone riding a motorbike. Yeah, you take that risk. You are potentially at more risk when you ride a motorbike than you are if you're in a vehicle. I get that, but I don't live my life that way. You gotta take some risk to really live like you really wanna live, right? You could isolate yourself and you can protect yourself, and you don't have to hop on a plane, you don't have to get in a car, you can just isolate yourself in a house. But to me, that's going to become boring after a while. So to really experience life, you got to have some adventure. And I believe that's why we're here. I really believe we're all here to experience this earth and to enjoy it. Because it's a choice. Especially if we live in America, we're free. There's no reason we can't enjoy life. We can do anything we want to do in this country. And many countries around the world. So I've always been a risk taker. I've always had a feeling of adventure. I was in the Navy 8 years. I got a sense of adventure for that. I did martial arts. I played football. I've done a lot of different things. I've always had this built-in switch that likes adventure. So once I bought my motorbike, I'm like, hey, maybe I should start filming my rides and sharing my adventures. And no, I don't travel all over the world like some lucky people do. Maybe one day. But for now, I don't mind cruising the back roads and the twisties in my own city. And there's so much to see where I'm from, which is Cincinnati, Ohio. There's no excuse that I can't see it all. And over the years and as time goes on, you're gonna see a lot more around my city and beyond. My goal one day is to travel farther, longer, greater distances, all the above. I've met a lot of people along the way. Just a few weeks ago, I was talking to Keith from Taiwan, where we share differences between motorbike cultures in our countries. So my channel, Trekopolis, has really allowed me to discover a lot of cool people out there. I've met so many wonderful people, especially reading the comments, and then I navigate to your channels and I get a kick out of watching your stuff. So it's a real big community here on YouTube. But getting back to the topic, some people buy motorcycles, motorbikes, whatever you want to label them, for a way to reduce stress. It's not the only reason I bought the bike, but it was a big one at the time. And it still is. Because when you're riding a motorbike, it forces you to be present in the moment. You have to focus on the road. You feel the wind. And the act of maneuvering all that, it just contributes to like a meditative state for me. It helps me clear my mind and, of course, reduce stress. There's something about the feeling of liberation that comes from riding a motorbike, a metaphor for the open road and getting rid of worries and anxieties kind of deal, And when you operate a motorbike, you kind of have that sense of control and independence at the same time. So for me, when I ride, it's almost like a way of self-discovery, finding the new roads, exploring the new environments. It's like a personal reflection and a deeper understanding of myself in some strange way. It's just a lot different than driving a car. And how cool is it to find a new road and not really pay attention to GPS, but you just, let's go this way. because I know my GPS will always take me back if I do get lost. Can you imagine being in a country like you see some of these riders that go all over the world, and sometimes their GPS doesn't work? You can really discover a lot about yourself if you get lost on the road. There's also a sense of community about motorcyclists, like the biker community they call it, no matter what you ride. With my channel, I do kind of feel that it's a big community of other motorbike riders, but then I also have people that subscribe that don't even own a motorbike, but they like to watch adventure and they like to see the bike, and they probably can tolerate my ramblings, I don't know. But with the biker community, you have gatherings, you have group rides, which I participated in the past, and you have this feeling of belonging and support you get from fellow riders. We're all on this earth together, right? And anyone that owns a motorbike understands that there is a camaraderie about this for some reason. It's different than a car or an SUV. When you're on two wheels, it's just a different feeling. There have been scientific studies that riding a motorbike can reduce stress hormones and increase endorphins, leading to a positive mind boost. That's been proven. And I can feel that when I do ride. If you've not owned a motorbike before, if you've never been on two wheels, it's hard to relate to what I'm talking about. But the bikers out there know it. They're like nodding their heads right now. Yeah, you're right. So if you're ever thinking about buying a bike, a motorbike, check out my channel. I have a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, and I help you discover what bike would be best suited for you. But anyway, getting back to the ride, there's a vulnerability about riding a motorbike because you're being more exposed to the elements than in a car. So that's a powerful tool for self-reflection right there. And it can make you appreciate the moment more and challenge yourself to overcome your anxieties, because you need mental focus for riding safely. You have to navigate traffic, navigate the corners, and when you achieve a smooth ride, there's a sense of accomplishment and mental clarity you don't appreciate in other vehicles. I have never found myself one time getting to a point where I'm tired and almost dozing off like I've been in vehicles before, driving. And that's a horrible feeling when you're driving a vehicle, right? Like you're on vacation and you can't keep your eyes open. I have never, ever experienced that on my motorbike. And I've been tired before, but it's just different. You just don't have that same feeling. It's so hard to explain and put into words. The sense of awareness that you get when you ride a bike does not compare with anything else. And I bought my motorbike, like I said, for different reasons, but one of them was for my mental health. And it comes in many shapes and forms. I have my own, you have your own. None of us are singled out. So the motorbike helps me relieve some of that anxiety. I get out there, and for the moment, I forget about everything else because I have to focus on the riding experience. I have to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. We're all kind of our own unique individuals. Now, I could go on and tell you about all my struggles in life and what I'm anxious about, things that depress me, things that give me stress, but honestly, nobody really cares, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but we're a selfish species and we have every right to be. That's just who we are by nature. Yeah, I mean, I care about my family, I'm gonna help and support them, but you know who's number one? Me. And you should be number one in your eyes too. I know it sounds cliche or whatever, but if you're not number one, you can't be expected to help anyone else. So being number one, it took me a lot of years to realize this. They teach you as a toddler when you're growing up at a very young age, they teach you, oh, you gotta help this person out. Make sure you're kind and considerate. Yeah, I agree with that. You can be kind and considerate and respectful to other people, but you can't be a doormat. If you don't put yourself as number one, then you're a doormat. I'm sorry to tell you that, because you're putting someone else before you, and it should never be like that. And that's why a lot of people struggle with anxiety and depression, because they're placing others before themselves. It sounds like a very simple concept, but we all have a habit of doing it, and we all get suckered into it, and before long, we're that doormat getting walked upon because we want to be kind and considerate to people, right? So these are a lot of things I think about when I'm riding my bike. It's like, am I number one today? What have I been doing to get distracted from number one, which is me? Because here's my philosophy. If I'm not 100%, if I'm not happy in my skin, if I'm not number one, how in the heck am I supposed to help anyone else? So one of the reasons I bought the bike was to help me discover number one again, which is me. And when I bought the bike, I was going through a lot. I mean, still am. Every day we have a lot of struggles we go through. Every one of us do. But at a certain time, some people develop hopelessness. And hopelessness is a horrible feeling. I've been there. A lot of you have. When you're in that state of hopelessness, oh, that sucks, man. But you know what? Life goes on. And you got to dig yourself out of that hopelessness hole. And you got to realize, I need to start taking care of myself first. And you got to find ways to de-stress. Because you want to find that hope again, right? So one of the reasons I bought the bike was I was in that state of hopelessness. And the reasons don't matter to you. I had to dig my way out of that hole again. And that motorbike really helped me discover that again. Yeah, I could share every story I've ever had about why I'm stressed out, what's going on in my life. But again, we all have to deal with things. That's what a therapist is for, if you have to get it off your chest, right? But I don't think my audience wants to hear it. I know if I'm watching other videos, I don't want to hear other people's depression issues. They pay therapists to do that. So there's always help there for you. But I'm just explaining why I bought my motorbike. Yeah, I was stressed, and I still am on certain days. And getting on the bike really helps me understand that it'll be okay. Life goes on. Every day's a new day. The sun comes up regardless. And we also have a choice how we feel. We have a choice to let those anxieties bother us, or we can choose to overcome them. And that's the hardest part for everybody, is finding the tools. And the bike is one of them for me, but finding the tools to overcome the anxiety and the hardships in life. So you got to find multiple tools. I help myself by riding, focusing on the moments, which the bike helps me do because I have to pay attention to the road, right? I have to pay attention that I'm doing this right, I'm looking out for traffic. So riding the bike distracts me from everyday life, and it helps me focus on the moments. And when we can focus on the moments, we're not as stressed about things, because most of the stress in life comes from the mind. Most of the stuff that we think about, we create in our mind. We create these stories that, oh no, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Oh my gosh, what happens if this? And we create all these stories immediately, hundreds of them throughout the day. And by the end of the day, you look back and none of them became true, right? They're just in the mind. And people fear motorbikes because they're creating all these stories. Well, so-and-so did this. So-and-so is in the hospital. We lost a life. So-and-so lost their life riding a bike. Okay, it happens. We get that. But again, you have a choice. You don't have to ride. Nobody's going to twist your arm to ride. I'm just telling you what I do. And I accept that. I accept that risk because while I'm here on this planet, I'm going to enjoy myself. Now, I'm not crazy about it. I don't do wheelies going 120 miles an hour down the highway. I'm not quite that crazy. And really, crazy is not even the right term to use. Those are risk takers. You ever watch a MotoGP race? They get up to speeds over 220 miles per hour, and they're leaning so far in those turns that they're dragging their elbows and their knees on the ground. You talk about thrill. I've never done that, but I would love to do that. But actually, those guys are safer there than they are on the main roads, because there's no traffic. If you fall down, you usually slide and you tumble your way out of it, and you don't run into anything. But on the roads, we have to pay attention to other people that don't see us, right? So there is a risk riding a motorbike in traffic. It is more dangerous for me to go down the street on my bike than it would for me to ride in the MotoGP. That's statistically proven. Does it happen when somebody loses a life? Sure, it does. Some guys get really hurt. A lot of them break bones. But it's far more statistically dangerous to ride down the street. So I got to keep that in mind. I'm always aware, but I accept the risk. Because I know that, yes, it could happen. And I'm willing to sacrifice the major risk. What's the worst that could happen? Well, I could not be here anymore. And that's something that you have to just accept. And if you can't accept that, then people don't buy motorbike. But it could happen when you're driving your car too. It could happen anywhere. But I figure I'm on this earth for a reason. I'm here to enjoy it. I'm here to explore. I'm here to find joy in the moments. And then that's another reason I bought the bike. I just want to experience that thrill and that joy again. And the ultimate price is that I may not be here. You have to make sure that your family's taken care of, everybody will be okay, and life goes on. Sure, people might miss me, maybe. Depends on who it is. If something were to happen to me right now as I'm riding, my family will be taken care of. And I think as a responsible adult, and especially if you have family, if you have dependents, that's your duty to make sure that's taken care of before you get on any motorbike. I'm talking about insurance, I'm talking about life insurance, I'm talking about stuff that if something happens to you, the people that depend on you for income, shelter, food, those people, you owe it to them, and you have a responsibility to make sure that if something happens to you, they'll be okay. That's what a man is called. It's a responsibility. But make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's before you get on a motorbike, especially if you have loved ones that are depending on you for things, okay? With all that said, you're still number one, and you gotta live like you're number one. This is not about being selfish, because that's just a gimme. We're all selfish, and we have every right to be selfish. It doesn't mean we can't be kind to people, we can't be respectful to people, and that we don't care about anyone else. That's not true. It just means selfishness. It has a bad term, a bad feeling when somebody says, oh, they're so selfish. Well, yeah, they have every damn right to be selfish because they're putting themselves number one. Now, it's different if you ignore everyone else and you don't take care of your family, you don't take care of your kids, you don't do what you're supposed to do. Sometimes people use selfishness and they go overboard with it. So there's that fine line. I'm selfish, but only in a means that doesn't harm anyone else. I'm not gonna go ride my bike for 4 hours a night and totally ignore my family. That's being selfish, especially if they're depending on you for things. Now, if they're not depending on you to be there, that's different, of course. Ride, be free. But if your family or your child needs you, you need to be there. Riding can wait. Well, folks, I hope you like this video. Sorry to ramble, but this motorbike means a lot to me, and I did it for me. I get that. My wife doesn't even ride. She wants no part of it. So it is something for me. And yes, you got to get past that stage of feeling selfish when you do something like that and you go out and buy a motorbike. But look, I'm also responsible, and I take care of stuff I need to take care of. And then I ride when I can ride. And there's a big difference with that. And that doesn't matter. I mean, you could be playing golf too many, or you can be playing softball 7 nights a week and kind of neglecting family and stuff. That's different. You gotta balance life, in other words. And you gotta have the maturity level to understand, hey, it's okay to ride right now. I've got everything accomplished I needed to today. I took care of what I needed to take care of. Now it's my time. And we all deserve that my time. Because remember, you're number one, and we gotta take care of that sometimes. And any responsible adult or partner will agree that, yeah, everybody deserves my time. So my time is out there riding my bike and doing my videos and making this channel and just exploring. And that's what I do, and it's okay. I have felt guilty sometimes for buying this bike and riding it, but then again, as long as I take care of my responsibilities, it shouldn't matter. And when I'm happy, everybody else is happy, because your energy spreads. If you're a content, happy person, guess what? That spreads out into everywhere else, right? Spreads to family, spreads to friends, spreads out in the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I really believe that that joy and stuff that you experience, or I do anyway, when I ride a bike, it has an overall positive effect on everyone around me. And I'm not just saying that to justify why I bought a motorbike. I'm just saying that I'm trying to drill into you guys' head is your happy place, you've got to figure out where that is. Whether that's riding a bike, skateboard, boat, fishing, golfing, softball, we all need to find that happy place. And inside my helmet is my happy place. And that's why I ride. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. There'll be plenty more to come. Make sure you subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you on the next one.